Yeah, I think that stretch you mentioned, well, I guess you said our offense, but that offensive stretch in the second half was really good. It opened up the game for us just enough to, we struggled. We really did. When they turned up the heat, made some poor decisions offensively, some breakdowns defensively, so that was frustrating. But because we had stretched it enough, it was good. And I thought Sam was really good. He actually guarded well. And then he, offensively, he was, you look at his stat line, I mean, that's 8 of 9, 3 of 4, did the job. He was the difference maker for us in the game. And then there was, again, stretches a good ball, but it felt a little, I just didn't like how I thought unsound we were and yielded, as kind of the word we've been using, to make that closer after we had built that lead. But also credit to Pittsburgh's scrap and their ability to put pressure on the rim. But we hung in there, and certainly grateful for the victory.
Yeah, not only do you get the point total from Hauser, but, I got to think you're in that position where you have a luxury of turning to some veteran guys that can make plays like that. What kind of a luxury is it to have a guy like Sam Hauser who's kind of been through the wars when things start to get a little bit more dicey?
Yeah, it was important, and I didn't mention Thomas. Thomas, we needed his offense. I don't think we won it with our defense today or even our soundness with the ball, with some of the turnovers or our rebounding defensively. Those areas they weren't good enough. But Thomas hitting some shots, some good decision making, Jay hitting some threes, and then Sam just playing a heck of a game was the difference. And you got to find different ways to win, but you have to shore up those areas that cost us. But yeah, I think the experience of Sam. And, again, that was a little – Kihei made some plays, a little uncharacteristic, some of the things he did, but he'll grow from it. And, we needed his 8 assists and some of those drives too.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much. We'll hand it off.
Okay, Dave.
All right, Jeff White, please.
Hey, Tony, I know you stressed to your guys on the bench that they need to stay ready because their number will be called at some point. Had you seen that from Thomas in practice, even though he hadn't been playing as much?
Yes, Thomas has got a very good attitude. He works hard, and he had good practice yesterday. He just we thought the way they guarded Reese and Kihei early in the game, they really sagged way off, went under ball screens, and they jammed and congested everything. And that's hard when they're doing that to two guys. Now, we made some adjustments, and I think the guys made some really good decisions in the second half to attack a little more and then play off their penetration. And then that opened it up. We needed another shooter, and Thomas, was hitting them today. So he really did a good job, again, with his moving and just has, like I said, worked, stayed ready, and that was a prime example of needing all of those baskets that he gave us.
That's not your fault. The three-point selection in the first half versus what kind of got going in the second half. What did you think of your team's shot selection from three?
The shot selection in the first half compared to the second half? Well, I think we took good shots, Mike, if you can hear me. 12 of 24, obviously, and Jay hit some. And because they were condensing in the lane so much that we got some rhythm ones. I thought couple quick ones, so-so, but it was better as the game wore on. And then they stopped going off of Jay, and then we started getting deeper with our penetration and had to make some aggressive plays and just enough. So, I'll watch it. Better in the second half, maybe a couple quick ones than the first half.
Bennett.
Yeah, Coach, I was curious. Pitt, I think they had 42 points in the paint, but their shooting percentage wasn't all that high. I guess, were you okay with sort of them taking those points? How would you assess the interior defense? And then going off of that, Caden Shedrick, is he available? I know he's
he is now, yes. Bennett, we didn't play very well defensively, if I want to be real. That was a poor performance, good action by Pitt, but they were the aggressor, and we looked unready at times and not sharp. And again, our offense carried us, but that's disappointing. And as we use our term, you fail better the next time. But I thought we battled hard against NC State, but defensively we did not have the right mindset nor the right execution, and it showed defensively and offensively. So there's that saying, don't accept in victory what you wouldn't in defeat. You're grateful for the victory, but you go to work on those areas. And, again, thankful for the win, but a disappointing effort in many areas of the game, and then some good effort and good execution in other areas. And, again, partly that's this team, but it's got to be better, in my opinion.
Sorry, on Shepherd, is he available?
So yes, he is. Now he is available. And Cody is going to be, I think, cleared soon, too. They practiced the last couple of days full, almost full, and so they're nearing. Yes, Caden's available, and I think Cody will be soon as well.
All right, David Till and Gene White.
Tony, you characterized the defensive effort as poor, but how would you assess how Sam defended Champagny? 3 times there in the second half, Champagny tried to back him down.
Yes. Look, I'll be the first to say if I watched the film and it was better than I thought, but I don't think I will say that. But Sam, as I said it earlier, or maybe I said it in the ESPN thing, Sam was the difference in this game with his offense and his defense. At times we'll go and trap, and we did that in the first half on him, and they hit a 3, and then we got a turnover. And we decided just to let's see how it goes. I can't remember which coach. It was a great suggestion, maybe hold, and let's see how Sam guards him. And I thought he was really good being we call it a wall on wheels. And I thought, yes, that part I was really pleased with. And there was a couple stretches, but that was the difference on the defense of one of the bright spots defensively.
Tony, kind of in a similar vein, Xavier Johnson's coming off a huge game against Virginia Tech today. He's just 3 for 12, 10 points, kind of the defense on him. How would you assess that?
Pretty good for the most part. I liked how in the second half Kihei got after it. He picked up the ball. I don't know where that was in the first half, but the ability against a guy that good, you got to meet the ball. So I thought Kihei challenged him in the second half, and that also was a highlight. And he's one of our quickest guys in this league, and an explosive. And so, he some teams decide to play him differently. Some will go under screens, over screens, impact, all those things. So we just tried to make it hard on him, and again, you could see it in flashes how quickly he gets to the lane and puts pressure on you, and I think maybe that caused a little more help, and that's where the offensive rebounds came in. But yeah, he was terrific against Virginia Tech, and we contained him a little bit more.
Jerry and then Hank.
Hey, Tony, you may have addressed this. We couldn't hear you early, but when Bigman got in foul trouble in the first half, Thomas came in and gave you a nice lift and played well. What kind of luxury is it having a guy like him to come off the bench?
Yeah, for sure. I'll repeat it. No, I thought Thomas has stayed ready, and that was important because, again, we were struggling, and the way they were guarding Reese and Kihei, they were really condensing everything, so we needed maybe a guy to knock down some shots besides Sam. And then the second half, we penetrated. Jay separated, got some. Trey's, he was not as able to get those shots, but Tom moving and hitting those shots, that opened it up. Then we were able to attack more in the lane, and I thought Kihei did a better job of getting into the lane. Our offense was better, so having Tom loosen the defense the way they were playing was huge in this game. So a great lift from Thomas, and such a good attitude, and he just stays ready and he works. Could you guys hear me still, or can you hear me now? Okay.
We can hear you, Coach.
Thank you.
So, Tony, a lot of teams seem to have a guy who kind of awakens the offensive confidence. And Sam hit a catch-and-shoot three-pointer from the corner. Jay hit a pair. Thomas hit a pair in that 16-0 run. How much does that impact a team's ability to, I don't know if it's finish or just pull away?
Well, we needed it because we didn't pull away and we didn't finish. And again, we were very porous defensively and then some of our decision-making offensively. So we needed that spurt, that all those different guys, and 4 guys in double figures. So my hope is we'll keep growing and keep learning from it. And it feels a lot better to learn lessons in victory and then in defeat. But I think, the ability to do that, Sam did it mostly, but yes, those other guys did, and we needed all of it because that was the difference in the game, Hank, that I said it earlier. Sorry if I'm repeating it or you hear that, but that stretch where we opened up, and I don't know what our biggest lead was. I can't that's where we got up, what does it say here, 17. We needed all that because they came charging back, cut it to, 6 or whatever it was. and so that was significant for us.
Has Sam become a guy you lean on emotionally, offensively?
Did you say Sam?
Has Sam become a guy that you lean on, maybe your team?
Yeah, it wasn't just the threes. We got some inside touches, some drives. That was Thomas, that was it, Sam. But, yeah, Sam is so steady. He's poised. As someone mentioned, he's been through the wars. He's a fifth-year senior. And, again, when you're shooting like that and you can go inside and he was guarding, yeah, no, I think we sense that, try to get him opportunities. And he knows how to play the game. He's been well taught way before he got here how to play, and he looks he's unselfish, and then he's learning to be aggressive when we need it. So I think he's becoming that. And then of course Jay offensively, and when Kie can touch the paint, but we need all of it. Trey when he's hitting those threes, but it was nice to see other guys step up today.
All right, one last question from Mike Barber.
Tony, Jay Huff, in terms of playing inside, he seemed like he got frustrated at times with either the officials or the guys. How did Jay handle the interior, maybe physicality of this game?
Yeah, I think Jay's been playing well. This was not one of his better interior defensive games, but he gave us a lift offensively and did some things, but it wasn't a great defensive game or sound game for a number of us, and we've got to clean that up and lay it on the line and keep working. So again, his a couple big blocks that we needed, and a couple rebounds on. So there was enough there, but for us to be as good as we can, we got to keep trying to play as long of a game. Everyone, we need all that, and the defensive side of things, I want us to I'm always going to keep harping on that because I think it's so important. And they were physical, and they did some good stuff. So we got to be as ready as we can take a day off and then get back to work and be ready for the next one.